Hello, my friends. Welcome to Project Management Basic Output Reasoning Mini-Mock. I'm going to ask you 20 questions today. It's going to go very quick, so make sure you hit the pause button if you need more time. If you haven't already downloaded my PDF free cheat sheet, do that because the questions I'm going to ask you today will be a lot easier if you have downloaded and mastered this cheat sheet. Let's jump into it. The very first question. This will be from Integration Management. Frank is a team lead working on an account management software project in the final hours. The team is currently sharing knowledge and lessons learned about the entire project. What should the team derive? Hit the pause button if you need more time. I am about to reveal the answer. The answer to this, because it reads in the final hours of the project, is not any of these. These would have been done way earlier, and it wouldn't be a needs assessment. That would be done earlier as well. The answer is lessons learned repository. Now, while this is not an explicit output, it is the closest to organizational process assets updates, where you have a lessons learned repository mentioned. Next question. Jackson is an engineer on a construction project. His team is now in the process of developing a plan for the entire project. What should the team derive? Hit the pause button. The answer to this is project management plan for obvious reasons. This is the develop project management plan process. Let's move on to scope. You are a project manager on a medium-sized project. Your team is in the process of planning how scope will be managed. What will the team derive? I will reveal the answer. The answer to this is requirements management plan. That is what you get from what is described in the process of planning how scope would be managed. Well, that is obviously plan scope management. Next question. You are the project manager on a medium-sized engineering project. Your team is currently developing a visual hierarchical breakdown of the project work. What should the team derive from this process? I will reveal the answer. The best answer to this, my friends, scope baseline. It's none of the others. The scope baseline is the one that is derived from Create WBS, and that's what this describes. Moving on to schedule. Jonah is a program manager with 5 project managers reporting to him. One of the project managers has just reported a missed deadline. What should Jonah derive from this process? 3, 2, and 1. The answer is not D, and it's not B. This alludes to you being in schedule management because it talks about a missed deadline. It wouldn't be the schedule management plan because the deadline's already been set. So this is in monitoring and controlling process group. The answer has to be something from there, which is work performance information from control schedule. Next question. You're working on a healthcare project as a team lead with a group of professionals. The team is currently arranging project activities in the order of occurrence. What should you derive from this? Give you some time to think about it. Okay, I've given you more than enough time. So the answer to this is not D, and it's not C, and it's not B. This is talking about sequence activities. It says arranging project activities in the order of occurrence. So the answer is A. Let's move into the area of cost. Bob has just been hired as the new project manager for a highway build. The team is in the process of computing the earned value for the current iteration to present it to senior management. What should Bob derive from this process? Okay. So this best describes control cost. So you would not get an accepted deliverable. That's from a different process, validate scope. Final report is from close project or phase. Quality audit is not an output, it's a tool and technique. So the best answer would be cost forecasts. Next question. Hassan is responsible for a software implementation project. The team is working collaboratively using a hybrid approach. The team is currently calculating the schedule performance index. What should Hassan derive? Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Hit the pause button if you do need more time. Seriously do that, because remember, on the exam you have about a minute. I'm making these very quick. They're shorter, so I would expect about 30 seconds. The best answer, my friends, is not B and it's not C. Schedule baseline is already done. This is describing control schedule. And the best answer would be schedule forecasts. Let's move on. The next area is quality. Kennedy is a project manager on a healthcare implementation project for Atlas. The team is currently in the process of inspecting the deliverable to verify compliance with requirements. What will the team derive? Okay, 3, 2, and 1. Let's take a look at the answer. So this is in control quality. It wouldn't be a quality audit as an output. It wouldn't be a final report. Quality audit, like I said, is a technique. And it actually wouldn't be accepted deliverable because that's from validate scope. That's not this process. It says the team is currently in the process of inspecting the deliverable. So the best answer would have to be A, and that's an output of control quality. Moving on. You're the project manager working on an airport traffic system implementation project. The team just completed a review with the customer for the final deliverable. The outcome was positive and the customer is happy. What should the team derive? Okay, so what does the team get out of this process? The answer is not A, it's not B, and it's not D. The best answer is C. Accepted deliverables means the deliverable has been accepted by the client. Next process. Humphrey is the account manager for a large client. His boss authorized the project to develop a new healthcare product. Everything went well until during quality control, a system test failed and the system crashed. What will the team likely derive from this process? All right, so from this process, my friends, let's go straight to the answer. The answer wouldn't be D. That doesn't make sense. It wouldn't be A because that's from validate scope. So you know you are in control quality. But it wouldn't be verified deliverables because system test failed. So you wouldn't get a verified deliverable. You'd probably get a change request. But the other thing you could get is quality control measurements that you could funnel back into quality assurance, managed quality as we call it, and that would be used to investigate why the system actually failed. Next question. Humphrey is the account manager for a large client. His boss authorized the project to develop a new healthcare product. Everything went well and the system passed the test. What will the team derive from this? All right. The answer, which I'm sure you already know, it's not accepted deliverables, and it's not the other two. It's verified deliverables. That's what you get from control quality when something passes the test and it's good to go to the customer. Okay, take note. It said his boss authorized the project, everything went well, the system passed the test. Yeah, you see that? So when you are doing that kind of test, you got to think, okay, this is quality. All right. All right. Let's move on. Resources. Jillian is a project coordinator working with the team on investigating the proper use of physical resources on a project. What will likely be derived from this process? All right. Let's end it. So it wouldn't be A, right? You don't get that out of check-in to see how physical resources were used. The code for this process is actually control resources. So you're in control resources and you wouldn't get any of these. What you could get is D, change request. Okay? Communications. You're working as a team facilitator on a large-size integration project. The team is currently involved in distributing needed information through hard copy while conducting meetings. What is derived from this process? So for this one, you got to know where you are. Let's take a look at the answer. So when you read it, it talks about distributing information. That's managed communications. So from managed communications, you don't get any of those. You get D, project communications. Let's move on to risk. Julia is a team lead on a project that has been authorized to provide virus detection devices to a health agency. The team is currently mitigating a huge risk with each team member carrying out a joint response strategy and actions to prevent it from getting worse. What will the team derive? All right. So, based on what has been described in this question, you know that you're in risk management and you are implementing a risk response. So the question is, what do you get from implementing a risk response? Do you get scope baseline risk updates? There's no such thing as that. There's no such thing as that. Change request status updates? There's no such thing as that. And even if we wanted to say, well, there could be in a change log, you could update the status. Well, that's not what you're going to derive from this, from implementing a risk response. The most likely and best answer is directly from the PMBOK guide. And it would be project management plan updates. Next question, you are the project lead on a large-scale construction endeavor. The team is in the process of building a walkway when a risk emerges. You respond to the risk with a mitigate approach. What will be derived from this process? So, let's end it. So what are you doing? You're mitigating a risk, right? That's implement risk responses. What do you get from implement risk responses? You get updates. You get updates to the risk register, but you don't get a project plan or project risk plan or a project risk board. You get updates to the project management plan and project documents updates. Part of the project documents being referred to here would be your risk register, and that would be updated. All right, let's move on. Jack is the project manager at a startup company. They have just acquired a smaller business and working on several projects. The team has completed the process of analyzing the risk qualitatively. What will the team derive? All right, let's end it. So the best answer to this, my friends, note it says analyzing the risk qualitatively. So it wouldn't be a prioritized list of quantified risks. The risk management plan has already been done and an empty risk register already existed at the beginning. That's not what you'd get from this. Instead, it would be a list of categorized risks. It could be also a list of scored risks because you categorize risks, you score risks, in qualitative risk analysis, and you could also begin to prioritize them. Let's move on to the next one. Jack is the project manager at a startup company. They have just acquired a smaller business and working on several projects. The team has completed the process of analyzing the risks quantitatively. What will the team derive? So you're familiar with the options. We just looked at them. Go for it. All right. So the best answer to this, it wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be an empty risk register, and it wouldn't be a plan because you're already in quantitative. And it wouldn't be a list of categorized risks. You get that from qualitative. So the best answer would be A. Okay, let's move on. Jack has just been hired as the new project manager for a new build. The team is in the process of computing earned value for the current iteration to present it to senior management. What will the team derive? Okay. So, what will he derive from control cost? It wouldn't be WPD and it wouldn't be WPR. It wouldn't be a network diagram. It's going to be something related to cost. And the best answer is going to be work performance information. Let's move on to the next one. Procurement. Richard is the product owner on a hybrid project to implement software. The team is currently advertising the work to be done with a request for bid, RFB. What should Richard derive as an output? All right. So think about it. Team is currently advertising the work to be done. So you already have the RFB. It's not an RFQ. And you would already have used the list of pre-qualified sellers to make public whatever was happening or make them aware. So the best answer as far as what you get out is selected sellers. Finally, we're on to stakeholder. Henrietta has been promoted to the director of the PMO. She manages various teams, and one of the teams has just failed a stakeholder engagement survey. What should the team derive from this process? All right, 3, 2, and 1. So this is in the stakeholder management knowledge area. Has nothing to do with scope, nothing to do with schedule. As far as what has happened, you just failed a stakeholder engagement survey. So monitor stakeholder engagement was carried out. That's what this is telling us. And this is telling us that you got an issue. It's not a risk. So it's not this. You got an issue and you need to do something about it. Change request. And that's why the answer to this is B. Okay? If you have any questions, my friends, or you're looking for great training, coaching, mentoring, help to be able to get direction for your exam, go on down to Praizion.com. And don't forget the cheat sheet that I showed you in the very beginning. Look for somewhere on the screen so you can download this cheat sheet and you can begin to study it and use it to really understand page 25. I'm not talking about cramming the table. Many people can cram the table. But when rubber meets road, they cannot explain what exactly is going on. So I encourage you, download this cheat sheet, blow it up, and go over every process one by one, and this will be invaluable to you. All right? Thank you, my friends. Appreciate you joining. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share with your friends. I'll see you in the next video.